Hello, and welcome to Conversations with Spirit. This is the October energy forecast and channeled messages directly from the Akashic Records, from the guides and the Council of Light in the Akasha, bringing forward channeled messages for all light workers, plus all of the things that we are going to be seeing rising up in the collective, some things that we're going to have to face and manage, plus just some beautiful reassurance and some silver lining with lots of love and support and advice and what we can do to really support ourselves in the next coming weeks. So stay tuned. Okay, so the overarching theme for the month of October moving into November is the Great Awakening. The guides came through with a very profound message that we are on the precipice of a mass awakening, and we're really starting to see the stirrings of that all around us. So, up until this point, people who had been called to be awakened, generally speaking, were people that had a specific soul contract to do some type of light work to help assist others in the coming months. Now we're starting to see lots of souls around us, like a domino effect, that are also being awakened. Only they're waking up without a real understanding or sense of where this is coming from or why these things are happening to them. So people are really starting to stir. They're starting to feel this nudging inside of them that they want to change and sense that there's something in their life that just needs to shift. They're feeling unresolved. They're feeling disconnected. They're feeling like parts of themselves that they didn't even really recognize before are coming forward, and they're having to deal with a lot of past issues or reoccurring habits that they feel now that can be healed, and that their life needs to transform or change in some kind of a way. And so what the guides really wanted us to know, that this is happening now on a global scale, that people are really starting to feel the call due to the rays of the frequency of the planet. And so we need to step forward as light workers. And when we see people struggling, to really have a lot of compassion, a lot of patience, and a lot of love to give people who are just starting to go through this calling and this awakening process, who need a lot of support and just love from us at this time. So, what they're seeing is transitory experiences in high vibration. And this is also occurring with us as light workers as well. There'll be days where people will feel just almost elated, just like super connected and super aligned to their higher self, feeling like they can take on the world, like they understand their purpose, their motivation, their direction. But those right now are very transitory experiences, meaning that they're happening for just little short snippets in time, and then they come crashing back down to like 3D grounded reality, and it can feel very, very jarring. So, for a lot of people, it's like this unstable feeling of not really knowing where they land. And the thing that's different now is that a lot of people that this is happening to is they don't have any awareness that this is happening all around them. They think they're the only person going through this. So there's like this feeling of isolation and disconnectedness because they feel like they're going through this alone. And that's where kind of we can step in. And when we see the signs of people around us that are starting to go through this, we can begin to offer support to as many people as we see. So this is manifesting as mood changes, changes in daily habits, even eating habits, particularly with types of foods that they no longer feel a connection to, or things that they used to love to eat that their body is just out and out completely rejecting. So this internal need to shift what they're eating, internal need to shift their water intake, a desire to change sleeping habits, a desire to kind of seek out more healthier lifestyles. That is like a big theme that's coming forward. People are really starting to notice that they need to change what they're putting in their bodies and how they're treating their bodies, and that they're really being called to do this at this current time. Also, the other big thing is changes in how they're interacting with other people. So at this time, you might notice some people being a little bit more short tempered than usual, more heightened emotions, more of an instability in feeling, and how do they deal with their daily lives, or how are they dealing with interaction at work or at school. So it can lead to relationship changes. And that's what we're seeing too, is this deep need to kind of reanalyze all aspects of our lives and what relationships that we've had in the past that aren't really serving our highest and best anymore. And certainly, us as light workers, we've gone through this a number of times as part of our healing process. But now, again, it's that ripple effect. So, there are other people in our sphere that are starting to go through that shift where they're really just analyzing all of the relationships in their life and trying to figure out which ones are really for their highest and best and which ones need to be healed or shifted in some way. So this can lead to some discord, as you can imagine, some unleveling feeling, and a lot of healing that people are feeling that needs to take place is really becoming very apparent. So another thing that's been really interesting as a part of this is people are also noticing that there's a lot more motivation in them to heal these things. So they're really feeling like this drive to make these changes because they feel like now they're being called to do this. So, the other aspect they brought forward too was the idea that priorities are shifting. So, you might see this with people around you with their habits shifting, also their awareness of where they really want to put their focus in life. So, it might look like a desire to change jobs or to move to a different location or to seek out a different type of a hobby or something that really lights them up. So, just a really an inner need to shift the priorities in their life to something that is more aligned with their soul in this frequency change that we're moving into. So it's really a time of uncertainty and turbulation for a lot of people because there is so much energy that's coming in and moving and shifting things on a global scale that people really are having that feeling of unfootedness. And so if we as light workers are picking that up, it's probably coming from a lot of people around us because the guide said since it's happening more on a mass scale, it is also going to be affecting our energy too. Like we are going to be picking up on this. So, as I said, overall, how this might be manifesting with people in your life, in your sphere, whether it's at work or in social spaces or even in social media, is it might manifest as some anxiety, some fear, some emotional instability, some restlessness and impatience. And just again, that general feeling of being unsettled. So, they gave us a pretty great reframe for this. And I'm going to just read to you exactly how it was quoted in my channeling because I just thought that it was worthy of having the words read to you. So this is what they said. This is why you are here. This is why you came to help hold the light and ground the energies of others so that they may shift alongside us. So that's really a pinnacle piece of this, too, right? Like, we're here to help ground all of this energy that's coming in to help keep the environment stable for people so that others can really raise in vibration too. And that's what we're here to do. So, the other aspect of this has to do with the energy increases that are expected to come in. So, ramping up through the month of October into November is going to be more increasing waves of energy, like we had seen at different points in the springtime and throughout the summer. So, expect a lot of the same type of energy fluctuations with some bigger bursts of it. And they were very clear about the fact that this is connected to three different sources. Yes, it has a connection to astrological alignments. So if you're attuned to astrology, definitely that is some huge indication of what is going on, but that is not the only part. They were also talking about the solar flare activity, which is also going to be ramping up throughout October, and there's another wave of cosmic energy that doesn't necessarily go through the solar energy and isn't aligned with the astrology necessarily. So it's like three different sources of energy that's coming in from all directions that are creating this cosmic pool of energy increase for us to manage. To help us with this, the guides have given us some really great, just sound advice on what we can do to help support ourselves and others while going through some pretty challenging months. So I'm going to just be reading from the list here of the things that they suggested. And some of these are things that you already know, that you already have in your practice and are aware of. So just look at it as kind of a reminder. Holding your ground and staying rooted. Because things are going to be feeling a bit unstable and a little bit unpredictable, grounding your energy is going to be more important than ever in the next couple of months. So, holding your ground, staying rooted, and not letting the waves of energy or emotion affect you. The other aspect that they really were talking a lot about in the last couple of weeks, especially in the Akasha, is this great importance of going within and how there's this push and pull between truth and uncertainty right now, and not really knowing where to find the answers from or know what the truth is, and really how to find our truth. And they were talking about how really in order to stay grounded at this time is we have to spend a lot of time focusing on ourselves and going inward and developing our own personal growth. So this is not a time to look outside yourself necessarily for answers, but to really start to begin to be very comfortable with your own intuition if you aren't already, and spending a lot of time going inward and digging deep in those ways. They also wanted to let us know that it is not a great time to take on extras because we are going to be holding the light and carrying a lot of energy for humanity. This is a tremendous amount of work for us. And you have to give that honor to yourself in knowing that even if you're not producing, even if you're not making gains on whatever your normal goals are, that that is okay right now, that you're going to be doing a lot of energetic work that you might not even be aware of. And if this leaves you feeling depleted, you really need to just take a step back and give yourself some space and grace to take less on your plate than you normally would. So it's not really a time to take on extra work. It's not really a time to take on big extra challenges or do a bunch of unnecessary extra things that you really don't have to right now, because we need to be very mindful of where we're placing our energy and how we're conserving our energy. So I thought that that was really, really helpful. It will also be very supportive for us to hold a high vibration. So if you feel yourself getting sad or down or moving into a space of fear, doing whatever you normally would do to help lift your vibration up, whether it's through movement or sound or meditation, whatever you can do to hold that high vibration is going to help get you through this feeling very good rather than feeling depleted. And the silver lining in all of this, and I thought this was really beautiful, is because of all of the vast cosmic energy that is coming in, the veil is unusually thin. Now, it is typically thinner in the fall, particularly around Halloween or Samhain into the early part of November. That is a gateway that is typical to have more of a thin veil. But what they're saying is it's all throughout the month of October and November, extending quite even beyond that, that the veil for quite some time is going to be thin. And this is actually a wonderful time for us to connect even deeper than we ever have before. So allowing yourself to tap in, going much deeper into your inner soul, connecting to your higher self. Use this time to explore the depths of your soul, which I thought was beautiful. Call on your past lives, your histories, your karma, all of your past experiences, your wisdoms, your gifts, elemental gains and deep knowing, they said. This is a time that we have more access than we have ever had in the history of humanity to all of our past wisdom, our past lives, our past gifts, and calling those energies in to help support us, which is phenomenal if you think about it. I mean, that in and of itself is just miraculous. So they're saying that all of this will really help propel us forward into developing our new version of the earth and how we want it to look. Um, yeah, so keep this with you, keep connecting, keep doing your work and focusing on your inner work right now, because that's really, really going to help you. Take what you've learned thus far to support you. And they said, remember to hold space for yourself and to give yourself a lot of love and to sit in the vibration of love as much as you need to help keep your light and hold your vibration high. And the last final suggestion they gave was around consuming fear or consuming any media or anything out in the world that would put you into a state of fear. So they said now is the time to maybe back off on social media, to maybe back away from any kind of media or sources that may push you into a state of fear. Now, I know that's really tough because there's a lot of things that are going on in the world that can seem very unsettling and that are very scary. And we don't want to be disconnected. We don't want to appear detached or heartless or uncaring. And no, of course, you want to give grace, you want to be supportive, you want to do whatever you can do to help people who may be in challenging situations or suffering right now. But don't do it from a place of fear and only consume what you can handle. And if you feel yourself being triggered or going into a darker place, it means your body is telling you that it's time to take a break and step away to bring your light back up. So, another aspect that has just been rising up over and over again through the guides and the Akasha, and even the angels have been bringing this up as well, is the idea that everybody needs to be very comfortable with working with their chakras. And they really started talking heavily about this over the summer, and they're doubling back around and reiterating this again because we're moving up together collectively. They were focusing very heavily in August on the root chakra, and we were grounding and starting to feel safer and grounded in our environment. And now they're asking us to focus a little bit more on our sacral. So keep working with the root chakra and start bringing in that color of orange, which I thought was lovely because it's definitely connected to fall, especially if you live in the north with the changing colors. But bringing in that vibrant color of orange, doing any healing work around your sacral chakra. And the reason why they're asking us to focus on the sacral is because we're really going to be focusing on managing our emotions, staying connected to our intuition, and allowing things to flow healthy in a healthy way through our sacral to inspire manifestation and creativity and help manage our emotions along the way. So, focusing on any type of energy work in this space or movement practices for your sacral chakra, doing healing work with your divine feminine or your inner child, and even in the areas of intimacy and trust, can be a wonderful way to feed that sacral chakra energy. And then kind of staying away from anything that would put you into emotional extremes, whether it's extreme high or extreme low, but trying to maintain more of an emotional balance throughout the month will help you feel better. Also, really starting to pay attention to your intuitive nudges, your feelings, your dream work, and any subtle downloads that you're getting. So, apparently, there's kind of a general thread throughout the collective right now because of all of this unstable energy that a lot of us are second guessing ourselves all the time. Like things will come through from our guides and our angels, but we second guess it and we don't take it to heart and we don't listen. And they're just reminding us that a lot of this second guessing is coming from all of the instability that's around us. And so it's kind of manifesting it in us as second guessing and uncertainty. And they're asking us to really listen to our intuition right now, because that is how your higher self and your guides and your angels speak to you. So I thought that that was really, really lovely. And it kind of wraps up this overall message of trusting your mind, your body, and your soul as your best source of truth and information right now. I did pull 2 cards for us for the month of October. I do that a lot over on Instagram. Typically, when I'm working in YouTube, it's strictly channeled messages. But for some reason, I was just being really called to pull some cards for this month. So the 2 cards that I pulled, and I will tell you the decks and the authors. Well, actually, it's just one deck. The Angelic Activations by Kyle Gray is a brand new deck from him, and I had done my angel training through Kyle Gray, so I always feel really connected to his energy and all of the works he puts out. So this is the card that I pulled, which is Archangel Raphael. And Archangel Raphael is stepping forward with this beautiful green healing energy that also is pulling us to our heart chakra, because we're really working in that heart space as well, to just give ourselves a whole lot of love, a whole lot of trust, a whole lot of healing energy, as much as we can hold right now. But then also offering that out through compassion and divine love to others. So this card and this whole deck of cards has an inscription on the back side, which is one of the first times I've seen this on any oracle deck, in particular with angel cards. So I'm just going to read to you exactly what it says, because it's really quite lovely. It says, Raphael, trust your spiritual vision. Your psychic and spiritual abilities are awakening. Trust what you are seeing, for your intuition is correct. You can read between the lines, and the information you feel rising up within you is being divinely revealed to you. This is really key, friends, and it connects directly with the tarot card I pulled and the messages that they came through with in the channeling, which is just amazing. You have spent lifetimes preparing for this moment, and although you may feel apprehensive, you were born for this. Believe in the beauty of your gifts. And the activation at the bottom says, I trust my inner vision. You can't make this stuff up, folks. This is the perfect card to align with the message. And I was floored when that came out, because it really just feels so aligned and kind of wraps up the end part of what the channeled message was. So again, the tarot card I pulled was the moon card. And for those of you that know tarot, you probably are not surprised by this card pull for October. So the moon card for us really represents digging deep and uncovering not only our truth, but the truth. Right now, we're walking this fine line between truth and deception in the collective, and I'm sure that you feel that and sense that on many different levels. So because of that, we're really going to have to be very keen about listening to our intuition when we're trying to discern what the truth is. So the moon is asking us to look within for clarity and allowing your intuition to guide you, because of this duality that's going on. It's like a push and pull between civilized versus uncivilized behavior, good versus evil, or dark energy, how you'd like to put it. But really staying into the energy of balance and looking within to find your truth is going to be key. So don't let yourself get swept away with too much emotional upheaval or all the chaos that surrounds us. And looking even inwardly, self-doubt is how a lot of us are manifesting kind of this crazy energy that's with us right now. So I hope these messages find you safe and healed, and that they can really help guide you in some way through this month, because I know it's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride as we've gone through this year already a few times. 2024 will go down in history as one of the bumpiest ones that at least for our generation, for sure. I will be coming forward with more channeled messages as they come through, and I'm just so honored to do this for you. And if you would love to continue this conversation in any way or receive a private reading from me, just head over to Instagram. I have all of my links there, and I'll also post them down below. So thank you, and keep the light within your heart as always. And
if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, or head on over to visit me on Instagram, Conversations with Spirit.